Let me show you how to make these tender, juicy, and flavorful meatballs. And I'm gonna use a couple different techniques to try to get the best ones. To start, I'm gonna soak some bread in some milk. This is to bind everything together whilst keeping these meatballs nice and juicy. And now me, I'm very particular with my onions. I don't like the texture, and they gotta be caramelized or I'm not gonna eat them. So here I'm just cooking these until a point, until they at least have some color, and then I'm gonna blend them up. I think this helps with moisture too. Then I'm going to mince up a ton of parsley. And I'm gonna put these in a stand mixer because I'm gonna try a Chinese technique here that they use for dumplings. In addition to my other ingredients, I'm adding a ton of garlic, an egg, a ton of Parmesan, pepper, ground pork, and ground beef. I would use meatloaf mix if I could have found it. Now for the technique. I'm stirring all of it in one direction. And as it goes on, it lightens up, emulsifies, and gets these little protein strands. I kind of think of it sort of like developing gluten with bread. This will help the meatballs have a nice bouncy texture and not just be crumbly and fall apart. And I'm prepping these so they can sit overnight. This will help those protein strands to relax a little bit and let those flavors meld. And so a fun fact, the reason that I'm making these is for a meetup group where we were doing an Offend the Italians theme. So I did a loaf of Italian bread, hollowed out into a bread boat with spaghetti and meatballs together because I guess Italians usually keep them separate. And then I cut up the cooked spaghetti with scissors. So yeah, my Italian ancestors were rolling in their graves, but I'd like to think these meatballs wouldn't have been offensive. Stay to the end if you want to see how that bread boat turned out. So anyway, I seared my meatballs and cooked them down in passata and garlic and olive oil, and then I took those out and added my spaghetti directly into the sauce. All in all, I was pretty happy with these. In the past, I used to make my meatballs on a sheet tray and bake them, but then they would never get any Maillard reaction and had this weird metallic irony taste. These had none of that. They were nice and juicy, tender, and poached in that tomato sauce, and I would definitely make these this way again. However, I am always looking to improve and am open to feedback. Comment below if you have any other tips for better meatballs. And for those of you who stayed, here is my Italian offensive. I even made my scaletta bread for this. It hurt. And look at all that cut up spaghetti mush.